Hi, welcome to the Holly Press Fibers podcast. This is a knitting podcast where I talk about everything that I'm working on and what things I finished, what things I'd like to be making, and I'd just like to thank you for joining me. My name is Elizabeth and I'm coming to you from Northwest Montana, where it is about 70 degrees. So 20 degrees Celsius. It's lunchtime here, which means I think all my neighbors are inside. Earlier today, we had every neighbor out doing something like trimming their lawn, trimming their hedges, washing a car, everything that creates noise. But I think everybody's inside having lunch right now, so we'll see if the background noise stays low for us. And I just wanted to thank you guys for joining me today. You can find me on Instagram as Holly Press Fibers, and I'm just going to jump right into what I'm wearing. So this is the V-back tee by Jamie Hoffman, and I just pulled it out for the first time this season today. I usually wear the V in front. You can wear it either way. It's totally reversible. So I made this in 2018, and according to my Ravelry page, oops, there go projects. According to my Ravelry page, I finished it in 2019. That doesn't seem quite right because I feel like I started it and finished it right away, but that's what the records say, so we'll go with that. Since I just pulled this out of the closet, I had it folded, and the V that there's a little stitch detail going down the V, and that fold just got perfectly creased, so I need to wash this out and lay it out so it doesn't have that crease. So that's why I'm wearing the V in the back where it belongs, right? And the other thing I'm wearing would be socks. I've got a pair of vanilla socks, 3x1 ribbing on, and they're using my Eyre Rochester colorway. So this colorway. And yesterday I realized I was wearing my Along the Moor's Edge. Both of these are Eyre colorways. I did a club last year that had 3 months, and it went, let's see, I called this one I Knew You Would Do Me Good. I've changed the name to Eyre Rochester now that it's in the store. Along the Moor's Edge. So tomorrow, if I wear Mysterious Summons, I will have worn all three right in a row. So those are the three Eyre colorways that I'm currently wearing most often, I think. And next step would be what I'm working on. But they all fell on the ground. So I've got this first one in a bag by Castaway Cove Decor. She's on Etsy. Her main thing, I think, is making pillow covers, but she also had a couple affordable knitting bags on there. So I finished this sock, which was part of an Emma Club last year, and it's got a nice little stitch marker on it from the shepherd's hook. My camera's really far away, so I can't hold it up close to you. And I'm working on the second sock. So I've already got the heel flap done, and I'm working on the heel turn. It's just a simple 3x1. So keep working on those. The next thing that I'm working on, I'm working on my son's blanket, of course. I'm not going to show it because it's huge. It's twin size, and I haven't worked on it in 2 weeks, which means I'm behind on my 1 square every 3 days idea, but I'll catch back up. The other thing I'm working on is my Trelawny top, which is by Tamy Gore, and I'm going to make this go black and white because if you've watched my previous episodes, you know that this colorway is going to be included in an upcoming project in my shop, so I don't want to show it yet. This is the top. I've got the color work all the way done. It's a lovely leaf motif, leaf motif. And yeah, got the color work done. Last time that I talked about this, I had 3 or 5 rows of color work to do, so knocked those out. I've got the sleeve separation done, and now it's just finishing the body. So Tamy Gore is also Knit Path Designs on Ravelry, or Knit Path, no, not Knit Path, Narrow Path Designs on Ravelry, or Narrow Path Knit Designs on Etsy. So I will continue working on this, and it is also in another bag by the same company, Castaway Cove Decor on Etsy. I got this one because it has hedgehogs on it, and I think hedgehogs are adorable for other people to own, not me. Oh, the other thing I started, get that to stand up. Okay, I feel like I'm flying through this, so deep breath. I'm going quickly because we have had family members staying with us, and it's going to be a rotating family member with us for, it's over a month, so they all overlap. Right now, the guys are out playing, so I have the place to myself, and I just feel like I've got to whip this out. So I probably won't do very much editing. I won't be adding in pictures or extra details. I'll try to put everything in the show notes. So calm down, I'll go a little slower. But the next thing that I'm working on is, I spoke about it last time, is one that I wanted to cast on. It is now cast on. It's the Getaway cardie. I think it's just called Getaway by Alicia Plummer, and I've started the hem. It's a bottom up, and it's got a drop shoulder shawl collar construction with a textured stitch. So I'm really looking forward to making this. I had to borrow the needles for the hem from another project. I got the hem done, put the needles back in the other project. The next step requires a needle from my Trelawny top. So since the Trelawny top is a summer top, I'm gonna finish that before I go on to this. So that means this is a work in progress that I'm gonna put in the green room, and the green room is what I call the spot that is, there's still whips that I'm interested in. They're not UFOs, or not, I can't think of the other word. They're still on the go. They're just waiting for their moment in the spotlight. So once the Trelawny top is done, I will take the needles from that and start working on this. This will be a winter wear, so it's perfect to finish the Trelawny top first before continuing with this. The yarn for this is Rerum Natura, and it's in the caramel colorway. And it's super like squishy. The hem feels so nice and squishy. I hear people describing these types of yarn as rustic, toothy. I don't know if that's the right word, because it's soft, but not butter soft. You know, it's just got that nice feel to it. But it's not scratchy, but it's not like super soft. Yeah, but I'm really liking this yarn. So that will just go into the green room. We probably won't see it again until maybe end of August, early September. I'll have the Trelawny top done, and yeah, we'll put that off to the side for now. Now, things that I've finished, I'm so excited because one of the family members will be coming and they'll be getting this. So I finished both socks. I only have one on the blocker, of course, and they're not blocked yet. I just put them on here so you could see them. I have a stitch marker on here. I'm thinking that meant that's where I was last time we podcast, But these are the Morning Coffee socks by Litton of Crazy Sock Lady, and they were super pleasant to knit, very pleasant. In my opinion, they go faster than a 3x1 rib, which is always nice to have a texture that doesn't require as much of you if you just want to have a simple knit. I did an Eye of Partridge heel, which is my favorite. It's also my daughter's favorite, and that's who these are for. And yeah, I think that pretty much sums up the pattern. The yarn is Into the World in their Heirloom Ornamental, or Ornamental Heirloom. Heirloom Ornamental sounds correct. So her socks are done. I will hopefully remember to take a picture of them before I gift them to her. I'm quite, I don't want to say lazy, forgetful about taking pictures of gift knits. I often gift things and won't realize it till months later that I forgot to take a picture of it. And by then, of course, they're worn, so it's not like I can say, hey, send me a picture of those, you know, those socks or that shawl or whatever. So, oh well, I'll try to be better. The other thing I finished, these have been a little bit time coming. I think I had these going on my very first podcast, so I now have both socks done for Elvish Singing, and it's completely a vanilla sock with an Eye of Partridge heel. The only thing I did was on the toes. I used 2 contrast colors to do fun little stripies. That was a lot of fun. I'd actually would have had these done maybe a week earlier, but I lost the, I misplaced, there we go, I misplaced the teal colorway for a little bit, and then I found it. It was in another project, and I'll show you that project in a second. But I have 2 finished objects, and last time I had a finished object as well. That was the Alicia Plummer In Stillness sweater. And I had said in one of my podcasts, every time I finish something, I will open my advent calendar. So this was my advent calendar this last year, and I got up to, well, I got somewhere in here and decided I didn't want to be opening one every day. It just was starting to feel overwhelming, and I decided instead that my advent calendar would become something that I opened one when I finished a project. I forgot to do it last time with my In Stillness tea. Actions have consequences. I can't open it now. It's like playing a board game. You missed your turn. So I will open one for the socks, and that would be day 15. This is the Firefly Notes Advent Calendar, and I know they have another one this year. I don't know if they're already sold out or not, but opening day 15. Ooh, that's pretty. So it's a little leaf. Hopefully I'm getting this close enough for you. And it comes on a really nice ring too. So, yeah. Oh, maybe I'll go like that. It might have been focused on me. So, that'll be fun. That's a pretty one. So yay me. I finish a project and I get a gift. All right. That brings us to green room. Just a sec. Okay, so my green room is where I have projects that I'm not currently working on. They're just waiting for me to either pick them up again because I got distracted, or they're waiting for a set of needles, they're waiting for something. Usually it's my interest, but they're not cast off. They still have my heart. So the next thing, and I'm excited about this, I get to start my next I'm stacking things. My next sock is in here maybe. Yep. I've got everything piled on top of a board game because my son and I are in the middle of Pandemic Legacy and I didn't want to move the board game, so everything's strategically placed. So I made this back in May, and this is the little wee field mouse sock, and it's by Sarah Kelly, who is gray_owl_knits on Instagram. And I'm going to be starting the second sock of this. I put the second sock on pause so I could get a couple other things cleared off of needles. And now I have 2 sets of needles. So I've got the yarn in here. I'm gonna start the second one. This will be something I probably work on throughout July. Yeah. I'm not a fast color work knitter. I'm very much that whole conversation of, are you a progress knitter or a project knitter? It depends. If I'm doing color work, I am a project knitter. I'm in it for the finished item. I would not do color work unless I loved it. And I love these, so I'm on board. Yeah, I wish I could get more color work done because Sarah Kelly has so many adorable patterns. Her patterns are just amazing. But I have to be realistic. I will work on a pair of socks. Now this will be July. I have another thing that's in the green room, and that's my strawberry basket socks. I have one done, and I said I would start the second one in or around July. The point of that being, me being silly. So the pattern is by Dana Ray Makes. That's her handle on Instagram. These are the strawberry basket socks, and it's using my colorway, which is Dawnwell strawberries, another Emma reference. And I'm thinking if they're strawberry, I want to be eating strawberries from my garden. And we had a very cold spring, so our strawberries are not ready yet. I think we've got a little action going on in the garden, but not enough to worry about. So these will be started when the strawberries are ready. Oh gosh, I know I'm weird, but that's the plan. So I've got 2 more socks filling up the 2 needles that I just cleared. But that brings me to another pair of socks. Yeah. So last time I said that I was having a really hard time not casting on all the things. So I really wanted to cast on Anna Knitter's Helgen socks. She was doing a knit along for her new pattern, and it's a very pretty, but it looks like a memorizable sock. I was like, I want to do that, but I don't have any needles. Well, I have needles, but I have plans for those needles. Anyways, that aside, her pattern is on sale right now, so I picked it up. That's on Etsy. It was 50% off, and I just checked it before I started recording, so as of right this second, it's still 50% off. Her her YouTube is Anna Knitter. Her Instagram is Anna Lena Knitter, and her Etsy store is Anna Knitter Yarns. I think I have that right. Anyways, so I thought if I want to do her Helgen socks, and Dana Ray Makes is also doing a Christmas in July that I think goes through August. She's doing that. I'm like, I can combine them, right? So I'm thinking, and this is a toss-up yet, I might do my Christmas yarn in the Helgen socks. But I want to look at more people's work to make sure that the Helgen pattern would still be visible on a speckle yarn. I'm not positive, but that would be my way of trying to double them up. Sorry, I keep looking away. There's a dog walking by carrying his leash. My other option, which I think would actually be the one that will show the pattern better, is my Beatrix Potter. This was my first month, which would have been April to May, and it's Mr. McGregor's garden. So I'm sorry, he's prancing back and forth in my mind. Is going with him. Anyways, very cute. So Mr. McGregor's garden, it's off of the Peter Rabbit, Tales of Peter Rabbit book. So I'm thinking this one might show her pattern better, but I also really want to cast on the Christmas. I don't have the needles for them, so maybe I don't need to worry about this. But there's just more Imagine Knitting for me. The other thing that I was having a hard time convincing myself not to do, that I am so going to do now, is the shawl along. It's Across the Pond Shawl Knit Along. ATPSKAL 22 is the hashtag they're using for it. So it's Ruth Loves to Knit. She has a podcast, and she's doing it with another podcaster, Little Monkeys and Me. And I watched Ruth's podcast on shawls, and she went through just a lineup. She loves shawls, and I wrote down a few patterns that kind of caught my fancy. I was like, if I did this knit along, that would be a fun one to make. But I kept telling myself, that's okay, you don't need more on the needles. But then I watched Fernanda's, and she's Little Monkeys and Me, and she talks about what she's going to start with, and she said she's going to start with the Nightshift by Andrea Mowry. Sold. Yes, me too, please. So I had started the Nightshift last fall. I bought the yarn for it, and I ended up frogging it because I didn't care for my tension at the edging. So this time I'm going to cast on and use probably a bigger needle or do something different at the edges. But I have Noro. I have 2 skeins of Noro, and it's the Akari base, which I think will be fun. When I was knitting it up, I didn't get very far. You can see how much I actually pulled off the skein. It was not much before I realized I had it too tight. So these are the 2 colorways. One has more blues and maybe a little bit of teal in with grays. The other one leans more browns, greens, sort of a yellowy green. And so yeah, Noro, Akari, and I'm not sure which one is which now, but one is 13 and one is 17. Yeah, 17. So one is Yakimata and the other one is Hirosaki. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and cast that one on in hopes that I can finish it with the knit along. It's a huge project though. I mean, these balls are massive. And I think that's what Andrea Mowry's pattern calls for. She doesn't call for this yarn. I think she uses 6 colors of spin cycle. But this gives sort of that same effect without having to get 6 different colorways. And it might be a tiny bit cheaper. I mean, Noro is not known for being cheap, but I don't think it's as expensive as Spin Cycle. So, but I would love to use this because, well, 1, I bought it, and 2, I really do want that Nightshift. So, yes, this will happen. Hopefully I get it done on time. I will keep you guys up to date. Hopefully I get the tension better. But Fernanda totally sucked me in with her saying that. It was funny because it didn't even, like, when Ruth was announcing the knit along, I was like, oh, I'd like one. You know, I could definitely find a pattern to knit. I love shawls. It didn't even occur to me that I have what I need and I want to make it. So this will be also Imagine Knitting that will hopefully be cast on in a couple weeks. I don't know if I'll have it cast on by next time. With the revolving family members, I might cast it on when the last of the revolving happens, and that'll be, what's today, the 2nd? That'll be in 2 weeks, not 2 weeks, that'll be in 10 days. That puppy dog is still out there. Very excited, prancing back and forth, holding its leash. Yes, I think with the 4th of July weekend, we have a lot of people that are having guests over, so we've got lots of extra animals in the neighborhood, which is fun. So I'm thinking most likely it'll be more than 2 weeks before I knit again, because we just have a full house. Unless I can convince somebody to be a guest on the podcast, which would also be fun. My daughter might want to maybe be on. She's working on a crochet blanket. My mom is probably working on socks because that's easy to travel with. We will see how convincing I am. But I think that's everything, guys. And I just wanted to thank you for listening and being here with me. It's a lot of fun to interact with you on the comments, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you enjoyed the content, please like, please subscribe. It lets YouTube know to show this to other people that are also interested in knitting content, which is very cool. And oh, I do have, I guess, a little shop news, and that would be my current Beatrix Potter, the 3rd month is out right now, and it's called The Little Shop in Westgate Street, and it's from the Tailor of Gloucester, which is Beatrix Potter's 3rd book. So I used a picture in there to inspire the colorway. I have a reel up on Instagram to give you an idea of the colorway, but if you're wondering how close my pictures that are like hints are to the actual skein, my last episode on YouTube, at the very end, I do a little like Procreate tutorial where I show you how I make the background, so you can see how closely the colors I'm showing you match the skein you're gonna get. And I think you guys will really like the little shop on Westgate Street. I'm very pleased with it. So, and that is open for pre-orders through the 15th. Yes, the 15th of July, and it would ship on the 16th. And I have that available as DK sock sets and as fingering weight sock sets. I think that's really all the shop news for now. But thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you for speeding through all of this with me. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and if you're in the US, I hope you enjoy your 4th of July.